This is going to be a little bit of a different video. It's going to be more advanced, and we're going to talk about how to invest your money, how to spend your money, how I spent my money, how I spent my time. What's the highest leverage thing you can do with money in terms of happiness? So how can you spend your money the wisest to get the most out of it and to benefit everyone else around you the best? Okay. So it's going to be a little bit deeper and more like general, not specifically talking about dropshipping here. So yeah, first of all, why am I qualified to talk about this? I have a 7-figure bank account. So at this point, I have spent a lot of money. I've made a lot of money, and I've done a bunch of things with my money which were dumb. I've done a bunch of things with my money which were pretty smart. And I just want to share my learnings, my experiences with all of that. The very first concept I want to talk about, how much money is worth to you in regards on how much you have. Okay. So let's say you are 10 years old. Okay. So you're a small child. You're over here. Can you see this? Yes. You're over here. And you basically ask yourself a very simple question. There's an ice cream man here. Should I buy ice cream, or should I save $5 for the future? Okay. And let's say you said, no, I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to save my money. I'm going to put the $5 away. Could spend them on ice cream and candy. I'm not going to do that. Okay. I'm going to give that money to myself in 10 years. I'm going to put money away and I'm going to give myself money later on. So this is you now. 10 years later, you're 20. You're grown up, everything's fine. You find an account, which is the $5 you saved as a child, and you basically have handed it to yourself. Now, maybe you have saved not $5 on ice cream, but on a consistent basis over like a couple of years or so of saving, you've saved $300. So let's say on all the candies and ice creams you didn't buy, you have saved a bunch of money. Okay. How happy are you going to be about these $300? Well, probably not that much. And if you are super happy about that, it means that you're extremely broke. Okay. $300 are not going to change your life. They're not going to do any difference in your life whatsoever if you just have a regular job. However, in your life here, $300 was a ridiculously high amount. So here, the $5 ice cream is extremely, it seems very, very expensive, but if you save it, you don't have any real benefits out of it, because later on, if you have more money, you're not going to enjoy it. Like this is not going to make any difference in your life. So my argument, besides the psychological point of you should learn to discipline yourself just because you want to have ice cream, you shouldn't just buy it. Besides that point, just regarding money, this was a dumb investment or saving. Okay. So what saving really is you take your money and you hand it to yourself later. So you hand the money you make right now and you hand it to yourself in a few years. Okay. Now let's imagine now you have made 100K. Okay. So you're 20, you're balling, you have a 100K bank account, everything's amazing. Now you decide to spend all of that money because whatever, you basically spent all of that money. And now 5 years down the line, you're 25. So here you're 25, here you're 20. And here you give yourself $0. Okay. How did you make the 100K? Well, let's say you won the lottery. Okay. So you won the lottery, made 100K. You spent all of it, and now you have $0 again. Would you be happy about 100K here? Fuck yes. You will be super happy. Okay. Now imagine this different scenario. You made 100K, but not with the lottery. You have built a business and you've built a high-paying skill on how to make 100K. And in the next 5 years, you have made $5 million, or let's say $3 million. Okay. So here you don't have 0, but you have $3 million. If you have this, how happy would you be about the 100K? Well, much less happy. Okay, so the more money you have, the less money is worth. This is a very important concept. So, how do you plan your life? Do you plan on having more money in the bank account, or do you plan on having less money in the bank account? If you consistently plan on having more money in the bank account in the future, or you're going to make more money generally, saving is a dumb idea. Controversial concept, right? Because usually people say like saving is generally good, but saving is only good if you don't have a money making skill, which you basically have for the rest of your life. If you don't have that, saving is really good. If you won the lottery, don't spend the money. If, on the other hand, you're planning on making more money every single year, I don't see the point in saving money. It doesn't make sense. There's no logical argument whatsoever on saving money except you're going to make less in the future. So this is what you're planning on. Okay? Very important to keep this in mind. A lot of people, they pretend that they think they're going to make more money. So they say, I'm going to be a millionaire in a few years, but how do you live? Do you actually plan on it? Because if you would, you're able to spend all the money you want. You're like, there's no problem at all with you spending 100% of what you make every single month, right? So this is just one concept which you need to think about truly and understand and try to apply this to your life. Okay, what do you plan on? Did you get lucky, or do you have a money making skill? There are some businesses which rely on luck factors. Okay, and you maybe got lucky once and everything's great, and you have one pile of money, but you don't have consistent money coming in, or you understand that if something goes away, you're not going to have any extra money. So for example, if you get lucky with Facebook dropshipping, you found a winner, you made a bunch of money, but then you get blocked and you try the product on other accounts, it doesn't work. You try other products, it doesn't work. It was the first product you tested, it was a winner, you made a lot of money. You don't have a money making skill though. Okay, so this means that you should be saving your money. If you have a money making skill and every single month you found a bunch of new products, a bunch of new winners, a bunch of like extra accounts which you made money from, you have a bunch of backup accounts, you just understand how Facebook dropshipping works. Spend your money. Go ahead. Just understand taxes. All right. Just after you understand taxes, spend as much money as you want. So this is just the first concept I want to teach you. Now, the second one is the question of how should you be investing your money? Investments should ideally have a really good reason. So what I mean with investments is not, let me put it in a savings account and invest $200 every single month on there so I have my retirement funds. That's not what I mean here. Investing money should be a vacation, a gift to your parents, a teacher who's going to teach you something you always wanted to learn, and he's going to make everything quicker. An investment should be a cleaning lady. An investment should be an assistant, or something which is just going to make your life better in some regard. Okay. What do you think is going to make your life better? Well, you could have a bunch of things you want materialistically. So nice car, nice apartment, watches, those type of things. From my experience, this is not something which is going to make you extremely happy. Okay, this is going to make you feel super cool and really good about yourself generally. So you should definitely have a baseline standard of living. And it's like, don't get me wrong, it's going to make a difference in your life to have a nice watch, to have a nice car, to have a nice apartment. Out of all of them, I would say that apartment is going to make the biggest jump, because every time you just come home and everything's super nice, just like everything looks cool, everything's amazing, it's going to make you feel better. Okay. Now, the apartment, for example, has to be kept clean. And if you don't want to clean all day, you should, I would highly recommend you investing into a cleaning lady or somebody who's just doing things which you don't want to do. Okay. So there are a couple of categories of how you can spend your money. The first one is experiences. All right. Experiences. So traveling, booking like nice Airbnbs, booking some sort of like cool vacations, having comfort in the on the flights, having like a first class flight, whatever. These things, experiences, are pretty high ROI. Okay, so you spending money on this makes sense. This is a good way of spending your money. Okay. I would argue that this is going to bring you way more joy than buying like a bunch of nice watches or like multiple nice cars or like just a nice car. This is generally what you're going to remember. Okay. So if you think on a little bit of a higher time horizon, in 5 or 10 years, what are you going to remember? Are you going to remember you driving the car, or are you going to remember you being at the nicest Airbnb with your girlfriend, sitting in the hot tub, having the most amazing view and the most amazing time? Everything's just like you're going to have this moment of my life is perfect. Okay. For some of you, it might be a moment of I'm in my dream car, and this is the moment where I feel perfect. So if you're a car guy, go ahead, just think and weigh up what is going to make the highest impact on experiences long term. Okay. This is experiences. The second one is gifts. Gifts are gonna make your life better. Okay. The more you gift to people, the more happiness you're always gonna have. Always. This is a really basic rule, and you're going to be shocked on how good this feels. However, the more you get people on board with your success, the better your life is going to be. Always. The first question you should be asking yourself is, who am I thankful for the most? Who did the most for me? Okay. Is it your mother? Is it your best friend? Is it your girlfriend? Is it your father? Who is the person who helped you get to the point where you're at the most? If, for example, and this is something you should never take for granted. If, let's say you have a dropshipping store, you're doing amazing, whatever, you made a bunch of money, and you were able to make so much money because you were doing dropshipping full time for the last 5 years. You're only able to do dropshipping full time because you were living with your parents. This is something which, in my opinion, you have to pay back. Okay. Even though they don't see it that way, they're never going to ask you for something back. I would feel responsible that I owe them something. I was literally not paying rent. I was literally not paying for groceries. I didn't have to have a job. I had the freedom and the opportunity to do dropshipping full time, which most people don't have. So buy them a bunch of stuff. Again, ideally, buy them this. Buy them vacations. Buy them good experiences. If you know your dad is a car guy, buy him a car. Buy things which you think is going to make the most impact. You can also just give them money, which is cool. But usually, like from my experiences, I did a bunch of things. I gave a bunch of family members of mine money. I gave them experiences. I gave them specific presents. And from what I saw is experiences are the things which they value the most. Okay. Money is something which a lot of people are not able to spend. You know how I, in the beginning, explained to you the concept, the spending and saving concept. Well, if you gift someone money, they shouldn't be spending it because they won the lottery. They just got lucky because they have a rich son, right? So this is something where they will not feel like they can actually spend the money, and you could make it clear that, all right, I'm going to give you money every month, but it's something where, like, I tried it, and like most people do not spend the money. They just still, all the money I gave them, they still have in their bank account and don't do anything with it, except for like my dad is actually a little bit like, he's an exception for that, because every time I give him money, always, literally always, the first thing he does is he just buys gifts for my sister or me and my brother. So it's a really interesting thing where he also understands the concept of gift, and every time he has extra money laying around, he just gifts it right away. But anyways, basically, vacations and experiences should be the thing you should be investing in terms of gifts. I would recommend that. Okay. The other thing is just sentimental things, which they constantly do. So if they have a habit or a routine or something they do, try to think of a way on how to make it easier for them. So for example, like my dad hates accounting. He does not like doing all the paperwork and all this bullshit. And me sending like an assistant of mine to him and her doing everything for him was a huge relief for him. And did it cost me a lot of money? No, I just paid the assistant for like, I don't know, a week of work. It wasn't like super expensive, but it made a really big impact. He remembers that over way more expensive gifts, which I gave him, because it just made his life better. So the other area of how to spend your money is comfort. Okay. So comfort is basically a necessity. If you have money, this is what you should be making your money for. Like this should be one of the primary drivers to make money. So comfort is, for example, you go to a restaurant, you don't check the bill, you just pay. The comfort of not having any headspace. Okay. Comfort could be, again, you don't want to clean your house, you couldn't just hire a cleaning lady. You don't want to cook your food, you just have a person who's cooking things for you. So this is something which is just huge. As much like for me personally, a personal assistant and just generally employees changed my life. Okay, I'm going to get to the concept of employees in a second, but it's a life-changing experience if you know how to delegate tasks. Every time there's a task, it's always yours. Okay, doesn't matter what it is. If it's picking up a package from the postal office, it is your task. Okay, now if you have employees, what you can do is you can take your task, it's still your task, but just give it to someone. Okay, so for example, you tell your assistant, hey, just pick it up. In the beginning, your task was picking it up. Now your task is telling your assistant to pick it up. And this is so much easier, just saves so much, like it's just incredible how much time this actually saves. And I would encourage everyone to try this out for yourself and get some sort of VA who's going to do things for you. And basically, you just don't even have to think about them at all anymore. Okay? This is that. And then the next thing is teachers. Okay? So teachers are, basically a cheat code to getting things done faster and more efficient. For example, I was doing boxing for years, like back in the day. I stopped because of all the business stuff, but I did it for like 5 years or so. I was doing great. Everything was amazing. And I didn't have money though. It was when I was a kid. Okay. So like from maybe like 18, from like 16 or so till 21, something along those lines. I was doing the boxing without having any big money. Okay. So I just was there in the group, like with all the group and just doing the regular boxing stuff. And that was fine. And I paid like $50 for the membership. But now what I do, and I picked up boxing again. I just have a personal trainer. Okay. He's like really good. He's doing boxing for the last like 50 years. He's extremely, extremely skillful. And he just does it with me together. And every time I do a mistake, he just corrects me. Okay. Every time I do a mistake, he corrects me. This is nothing I had if there's one teacher and 20 people. Okay. In the classroom, with everybody else, he doesn't see every mistake I do. Well, now he does. So it's my skill of boxing is pay to win, which is sad, but it's reality. The more money you have, the easier it is to get better at skills. So money is not only going to make you a richer person, it could also make you a better human being in terms of a bunch of things, in terms of skills, and even more morally, like you can give more. So you're a better human being if you give more to other people, right? So you're a better person here. You're more competent in every area you want because you can just hire professionals to teach you exactly everything they know. Okay. This is a cheat code. Like right now, what I'm looking for is like a history teacher and a physics teacher, because just generally I am interested in that. I can watch YouTube videos, I can read a book, or I can have an expert who has studied this for the last 20 years. He's an actual expert in history. And he can just tell me exactly what I need to know. He can explain to me physics much better than I can explain it, like understand it by myself. I have a person now to ask questions to. So this is just something which money can buy you just like that. Like you can actually become better at physics with money. You can become better at whatever you want with money. Okay. But you have to use it. And it goes back to the point I made earlier, which is don't save. Like if you have a money making skill, you already know how to make money. Why the fuck would you bother with saving a bunch of money and trying to like having the perfect investment setup and into like the stocks and crypto and this and this and this, or not even crypto, like in long term investments? There's no point. You're not going to get a better life out of that. Okay. You're also not going to get a better life out of having a higher number on the bank account. Like this is not something which is going to make you happier whatsoever. You're going to have more comfort after reaching your first couple of 100,000 in the bank account after tax, after everything. You're going to feel more like comfortable because you understand, all right, I have a safety net, and if something goes wrong, I'm going to be able to live off that for quite a long time. I don't have to stress. Okay, this is also something which I think goes in this category, which is more comfort through less stress, through less like mental breakdowns, which a lot of people have because like money is a stress factor. If you don't have money, this is a huge deal. How do I get money? It's a very big deal. If you have money, it is what it is. You don't get happier through the money itself, but you can buy things which are going to make you happier. I have a chess coach. Like the guy just is really good at chess, and he teaches me how to get better. All right. This is something which I enjoy that a lot. And I also enjoy getting better at it. So the process just makes me happy. All of these things are selfish. All of these things are making me happier. Even gifting makes me happier. Okay. So yeah, this is just the thing I wanted to explain to you in terms of how to spend your money. Now, there's one more layer to this, which is comfort through employees and winning ridiculous amounts of time through employees. Okay. I'm going to explain that to you. Here's something which I learned, which is the craziest productivity hack in the world. Okay. This is your day. You spend this much working usually, this much you spend doing bullshit. So 6 hours working, 6 hours just chilling, 8 hours sleeping, and 2 hours you spend with your friends, whatever. Okay. So what you can do is you can max out your day to the fullest and eliminate chilling, eliminate hanging out with your friends, and do all of this. Basically, you're going to do work for like 16 hours a day. Okay. So everything except for sleep, if you're maxed out on productivity, you're going to be able to do like 16 hours of work a day. Okay. This is extremely high. Some people maybe you even do like 20 hours and 4 hours of sleep, whatever it is. Let's say 16 hours is the max. Okay. Another way to get there is just adding a circle. And the question is, how the fuck do you do that? Well, an employee has an extra 24 hours. Okay. So either he could be spending, he just was going to spend 8 hours a day. Okay. And let's say you also spend 8 hours a day. You have reached the same productivity level with just adding one good employee. Now, obviously, he has to be good. He has to know his shit. And it needs to be like, this is very important that he actually does the job at least as good as you. But you're going to notice very fast that he's going to, like, if you give him specific tasks, he's going to become an expert in that one task. And if he does it for 8 hours a day, he's going to do it better than you for 8 hours, like for 8 hours, because you're not even able to do one task a day for 8 hours, because you as a business owner, you have a bunch of different tasks all the time, which are going to be coming in, right? So you're going to have split attention, like couple hours here, couple hours here, couple hours here. The employee does one thing 8 hours a day. Okay. He's going to be better at it than you. That's also a fact. You can also now add another employee. And all of a sudden, you are over the max potential you had in productivity as one person. So the 16 hours of max productivity, this is, I don't know, Elon Musk level, extreme levels of productivity level, these two people replaced. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that two employees are going to make you as smart as Elon Musk, and it's not going to happen. But good employees are going to make your life 100,000 times more productive, because productivity is only the outcome. Like, you can feel productive, and that's cool. You can do all the tasks for 8 hours and you can feel productive. The employee can do the same exact tasks for 8 hours. You're going to feel super unproductive, because for 8 hours, you just are in front of the laptop. You have nothing to do. You just basically chill, but the things get done. Okay. The productivity level is exactly the same. Same productivity levels here, because the outcome is exactly the same. So we have two employees now, and you just have like a 24-hour shift basically of work being done. Ridiculous. Now, here's a funny thing. I have 20 employees. I have 20 employees. Just think about that. Think about how much I get done, and think about how you cannot compete with me. Whatever you do, you're not going to be able to outwork me, because me is me and my team. Once you understand this concept, and you have money, and you have money and the competence to outsource things to competent people, this is a cheat code. You're going to see how your life is going to get exponentially more productive. Your productivity levels are 20xing. This is not possible with anything. Like this, it doesn't matter who you are. You're not outworking 20 people. This is literally like taking steroids. As a natural athlete, you're not going to be able to hit a certain level. You take steroids, all of a sudden the levels increase. So your potential is so much higher. Here, the potential is unlimited because you have a bunch of employees. Now, I get crushed by Coca-Cola, right? They have thousands and thousands of employees. And that's very obvious that they're making so much money, because what we get done in a year, they get done in an hour, because they have 2,000-3,000 people working on it, right? So it's impossible to outcompete them. It's something which is very interesting to think about, that the top level guys, this is the last concept I want to end on here. This is something which you also need to understand in terms of how much your time is worth. Okay. So let's talk about Bill Gates, the guy who invented Microsoft. He built the company in the beginning. He was doing all of his little things. I have no idea what he was doing, but he was basically doing a bunch of tasks before he was rich, right? So here, he's not rich yet. Like here, he starts to become the wealthiest man on the planet, okay? Here, he's building up the foundation to make a shit ton of money with his company. He's building up the foundation to make this, okay? He's doing all the codes. He's finding the right people. He gets investors. He does a bunch of things, okay? What do you think? Where is his time more valuable? Here or here? Actually, here. Where do you think his time is more valuable? In the beginning or here? Well, I could make a pretty strong argument for his time being the most valuable here, because he's setting everything up. Here, he already has a running system. Everything's doing amazing. He's already having a multi-billion-dollar company. If he's going to chill for a month, nothing is going to change. He has thousands of employees. Everything's going to be good. If he chills here for a month, the entire project gets delayed for a month. My point is, even though you don't know it yet, if you are not a millionaire yet, your time is worth more than when you become one, if you're on the right path and if you're doing the right thing. His time is only as valuable as his time is here, because he is on the trajectory to hitting this here. That's the only reason. If he's going to do boxing here, this is going to be like, his time is going to be super not valuable, because this is not going to ever happen. Okay. So if you could have a time machine, which is going to predict the future and see that for a fact you're going to be super successful, the time you are spending on it right now is the most important time. If you're not spending the right time, the time in the right direction, the time you're spending on it is the least valuable time because it doesn't fucking matter. So this is the last thing I want to end up here. Just value your time a lot. And this video was obviously directed to a little bit more of an advanced audience because we're talking about like investing money and spending money and stuff like that. So I'm the prerequisite of that is having money and making money. So if you have money, but you're not a millionaire yet, just think about this. Try to understand this concept and understand that the productivity you have right now is the most crucial part in your life. Like even if you just have $100 in your bank account or 100K, in both of those cases, you're still setting up the foundation. You're basically broke. Okay. So make sure you do everything that's needed. And if you have money, try to max out your productivity levels by getting employees. If you don't, then try to max out your productivity level by just maxing out your day. Okay. So the only thing you have in the beginning is time. That's the only leverage you have. And the question is, how do you spend that time? And within every single business model, you're going to have a bunch of ways to spend the time well, or a bunch of ways to just waste your time. So what I want you to do is just list all the highest leverage activities on how to make money, basically. And I've actually just recently released another video where I talk about exactly that. So I'm going to link it somewhere here where I talk about leverage. So how do you decide what is the highest leverage activity for you? There I go specifically in dropshipping and how to like basically maximize your time while you build a dropshipping store. And yeah, if you are interested in working with me, you can just click the link below, sign up for a call. And if you want me to teach you all the concepts which I have basically learned over the years and have my team guide you through making a shit ton of money, you can click the link below. And this is, again, as I explained in the beginning, mentors, teachers are a cheat code to success. So if you want to have us on your side, building a profitable dropshipping business, click the link below, sign up for a call, and we'll talk.